What's up guys, my name is Marc Steiner, and today we are going to be reviewing the Pixel 5a. But before we get to the full review, I do want to disclose that Google did send me this phone to review and keep. No money changed hands, and they have no say over this video whatsoever. All my opinions are my own. I'm going to give you the good, the bad, the usual that I do, the full review. Also, can we just talk about how this is kind of cool that Google sent me a cell phone? This is a special moment for me, you know? So yeah. Anyway, let's get on to the full review. So, the Pixel 5a, that best bang for buck, that amazing overall value, that iPhone SE vibe. The Pixel series has always been about that clean, stock Android life with amazing cameras, and the A series just takes all of those amazing features and puts it in a more budget-friendly but still feature-rich package. Being a photographer and videographer, I always loved the cameras coming out of the Pixel because they are just so good, and Google's processing is top tier. Great low light, amazing features, just so good. But because Google is all about that AI software processing, they've kind of neglected the hardware of these cameras. Sure, they want to support the older Pixel models so everyone feels included and their cameras are still top tier, which is great. But because they've neglected the hardware, these sensors are way past their prime in my opinion and can't compete with the competition. The only reason they are still competing at such a high level is just because Google's processing is so good. So I can't wait to see what happens when Google uses that same processing on a newer, better sensor. Pixel 6. This is currently the best phone that Google makes because they've discontinued the Pixel 5 and 4a, and this is literally the only phone on the market for now. Pixel 6. And speaking of the Pixel 4a, not much has changed. We still have the Snapdragon 765G chip, the same 6GB of RAM, the same 128GB of storage, the same great 12 and 16 megapixel standard and ultra-wide cameras, the same fingerprint sensor on the back, the same mediocre speakers that make the entire phone vibrate when you're listening to something.
There are magnets in this case as well, so when you just plop your earphone in, it just automatically sticks in there. I found it very easy to just slip these in your pocket and completely forget that they're there.
And it still has a headphone jack and still doesn't have wireless charging. So what's new? We have a new greenish color on the back. We have a slightly larger 6.3-inch 1080p 60Hz OLED display. The 5a is also now a full metal body, which means higher build quality, better materials, but still wrapped in this nice rubberized material, and it feels really nice in the hand. I was actually genuinely surprised at how light this phone is, weighing in at only 183 grams. And because of that full metal unibody, we now get an IPX67 rating, which means water and dust resistant. Nice. But by far the biggest difference on the 5a is the substantially larger battery, coming in at a whopping 4,680 milliamp hours. Not only is the battery 1,000 milliamp hours more than the iPhone 12 Pro Max, but because it's using a smaller and lower resolution display, this thing is going to last forever on a single charge. And speaking of that display, I absolutely love it. Yes, it's only 1080, but for how I'm using this phone, I'm not seeing any real differences compared to a higher resolution display. 60 Hz is also completely fine because it's what I've gotten used to on my iPhone. Everything feels snappy and looks great, and that's what really matters. Now, this phone comes in at $450, which is a mid-tier price range, or as I like to say, a high-end budget phone. You get all the important things that matter at a fraction of the price, and honestly, it's a great deal. But this phone is kind of in a weird place for me. When Google pre-announced the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro with their brand new Tensor chip and a complete overhaul of the entire Pixel lineup, that was the next phone we were all expecting from them. But then they came out with the Pixel 5a, and it's a great phone, don't get me wrong. And yes, the 5a and the 6 are in different price ranges aimed at different demographics, and you can't argue with the price to performance ratio of the 5a. But with the Pixel 6 so close on the horizon and this being a relatively niche phone to begin with, I think the people who are interested in this lineup are also aware enough about tech to know that the 6 is coming out, and they want that huge overhaul redesign with that ground up chip and not an iterative update. But even if they weren't interested in the 6 or 6 Pro, the chances of a 6a coming out a year from now with all those amazing new features at a budget-friendly price point is very high. So yeah, the Pixel 5a is an amazing phone that I can easily recommend to anyone in the market, and I truly enjoy using this phone. But I know myself and the rest of the tech community are keeping our eyes peeled for what's to come with the Pixel 6. But I want to know what you guys think. Are you excited about this phone? Are you looking forward to the Pixel 6? Let me know in the comment section down below. My name is Marc Steiner, and I'll see you next time.